record our class this morning and our meditation. Please go ahead and settle into a comfortable meditation posture. I'll provide a little bit of guidance for our practice of central channel yoga. Using whichever method you find most effective, please allow both your physical body and your mind to start to settle and rest, to become quiet and still. And we can now very gently transition into our practice of central channel yoga. On your inhalation, please observe the sensation of air moving across the tips of your nostrils. And further observe energy winds moving fluidly and instantaneously down to the lower tip of your central channel. On the subsequent inhalation, up to the crown of your head and then back down to the point in between your eyebrows. On the subsequent inhalation, up to the crown of your head and back down to the lower tip of your central channel located at a point in between your sit bones. And please repeat this pattern for a few moments. Please modify your practice just a little bit by allowing your winds to move down to your navel chakra on the inhalation, up to your throat chakra on the exhalation, back down to the navel chakra on the inhalation. And please repeat this pattern for a couple of moments. please continue with your practice of central channel yoga. And very gently allow your winds to start to move toward the center of your chest, toward the center of your heart chakra, which of course is the seat of your heart of love and compassion. Finally, allow your winds and your awareness to settle at the center of your heart chakra and just rest. although we may from time to time lose sight of it. The fact is that your true nature is love and compassion. And for you to access this innate love and compassion, no doing is necessary. Nothing needs to be added. All that is asked of you is to just bring your awareness to this point at the center of your heart chakra very gently, to simply rest, allow, and observe. Please resume your practice of central channel yoga, allowing your winds to travel down to the level of your navel on the inhalation and up to the level of your throat on the exhalation. On the inhalation, please allow your prana to travel down to the lower tip of your central channel, to the point in between your sit bones. On the exhalation, up to the crown of your head and then down to the point in between your eyebrows. Please start to deepen your breath and become aware again of your physical body. Gently allow your consciousness to become less absorbed. Taking deeper and deeper breaths, become aware again of the garments of clothing resting on the surface of your body. Become aware again of your surroundings inside the room that you're occupying. Become aware again of the world that exists outside of the room that you're occupying. We dedicate all of the merit from this morning's meditation and Dharma talk to world peace. May leaders of countries who are at odds with one another soon come to recognize that nothing is accomplished with minds of anger, and instead may they solve their differences using minds of empathy, acceptance, compassion, and wisdom. Completely fill up your belly and lungs with air, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes and bring your meditation to an end. Okay, welcome back, everyone. Let me see, I'm just gonna chat. Oh, here we go. Sorry, you guys, I'm trying to, oh, here we go. There we go. So I just sent you the 3 parts of the second perfection that we're going to be talking about, the perfection of moral discipline. There are 3 parts to the practice of moral discipline, or the perfection of moral discipline. The moral discipline of restraint, the moral discipline of gathering virtuous dharmas, and the moral discipline of benefiting sentient beings. We will, on Monday's class, get into the moral discipline of restraint, which is kind of a more readily accessible and practicable aspect of this perfection. It addresses beneficial, skillful, virtuous actions of body, speech, and mind. There are actually 10 non-virtuous actions that are to be avoided: 3 of body, 4 of speech, and 3 of mind. And we will get into those in some detail on Monday. For now, I would invite you to copy and paste these 3 parts of the perfection of moral discipline and perhaps commit them to memory. Before we get into this perfection, though, I want to back up a little bit and talk about this meditation that we've been doing, this the central channel yoga practice that we've been doing. this is a very, if you haven't concluded by now already, you know that this is a subtle practice. And we Westerners, we human beings, like to think things through. We strive for a reasoned explanation and a way of connecting the dots to understand how things work. And with some of these more subtle meditation techniques, the connecting of the dots isn't easy. At some level, there is a trust that is involved, not blind faith, but a trust that there are many before us who have utilized these practices and have experienced great realization from them, the realization of complete liberation, the realization of full enlightenment through these meditation practices, including central channel yoga in general, and the meditating on the center of our heart chakra. I received these teachings from my teacher, of course, Geshe Kelsang Gyatso, who has written 2 or 3 books on these types of practices. And these books are very technical. There are so many different aspects of channels, winds, and chakras. One could spend a great deal of time studying and coming to understand them. We're just now scratching the surface of some of these practices. But that's not to say that they aren't very powerful and have the potential to help us progress on the path in a very meaningful way. But with regard to this trust matter, this matter of trust that can enable us to rely on the authenticity of these teachings, my teacher, Geshe Kelsang, he doesn't talk about it very much because he's so modest, he's so humble. But over the years, sort of little bits have come out about how he came to know these teachings as he had. I think many of you know that Geshe Kelsang is a Tibetan Lama, grew up in the monasteries of Tibet, and when China invaded Tibet in the 1940s, he was one of the many practitioners in Tibet who were forced to flee for their lives. And Geshe Kelsang did leave Tibet, and when he crossed over into India, he took the opportunity to go on a solitary retreat, solitary meditation retreat. He was in retreat for 19 years. 19 years doing these practices. It's said that he subsisted in terms of diet. He subsisted on something that's called tsampa, Tsampa, which is barley flour mixed with water, and it kind of becomes this paste sort of thing. And that was his meal for 19 years, it said. So I say all this to say that it's my view, again, he doesn't talk about it much, but it's my view that through these 19 years of solitary retreat, he perfected and realized these practices of involving channels, winds, and chakras. And it's through that experience that he shared them in the books that he wrote, one of which is called Clear Light of Bliss. But anyways, I just wanted to share that with you as a means of hopefully developing some confidence in these practices, even though we're not able to connect the dots as cleanly and as definitively as we may want to, in order to understand how does this stuff work, right? How does it work? These winds moving up and down the central channel and coming to settle at one of the chakras, in the case of our practice right now, at the center of the heart chakra. It might be helpful for you to think about these winds, and the analogy is used sometimes as the winds almost being like bellows, like we activate wind through bellows, and through the bellows we can kind of bring a fire to life, right? The wind goes on the fire and the flames rise up. The energy winds, or prana or chi, kind of function in the same way. There's a reason that they are called energy winds, because they energize. And you can look at, and you can kind of consider your energy winds serving as a means of energizing the destination to which we direct those winds. In this case, the center of the heart chakra. It's almost energizing and bringing power to the heart chakra, and thus deepening our experience of our innate love and compassion. Without going into a lot of detail in books like Clear Light of Bliss, that's about as good as I can do in terms of providing an explanation of the mechanics for how these winds work. At some level, I think there's an intuitive recognition of how it works. As with all things, we can sit and listen to hours and hours of explanation of different techniques and methodologies, but ultimately, what will really carry the day for us is an experience, is to experience that it works, and to deepen our own personal experience of the practice via our meditation practice. So I would invite you to do that. Just be patient, just observe, just experience. And as the Buddha said way back, he said, don't do these practices just because I suggested them and I'm the Buddha. Try them out. See if they work. See if they hold water for you in your experience. And I think that's just as reliable advice for us with regard to this practice too. And one of the fruits for me has been, I've come to really understand and appreciate this love and compassion that goes beyond labels and definitions. It's so meaningful. I've come to experience through this practice, and others come to experience the fact that there is a softness to love. There's a softness and there is a warmth to it. It's so gentle and almost subtle. I keep saying the word subtle, but it's especially applicable here. A softness, a warmth, and there's nothing better than that feeling, that experience of pure love via the warmth and the softness of it. And when we come to share that warmth and softness with those around us, just through loving people, then we're really progressing on the path of the Bodhisattva. So Monday, we'll get into the second of the perfections, the perfection of moral discipline. Until then, have a great weekend, and I hope to see you on Monday.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a good weekend.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye, Linda.